You are able to see the code, right? Menti.com code. You can type in the chat. Okay. Thank you. The code was 92078003. I'm waiting for responses.
I've already submitted mine.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, sure. I will type the code over here. Yeah, menti.com. So here are some responses. For some of you, this past 1 year was more about becoming self-aware. It was a turbulent past year. Blessed individual. I like that. The spiraling laziness at its best. Some more. According to these responses, I can calibrate the further part of the session. The year no one could have predicted. True. Even if it's a single word, that is also fine. I just want you to reflect, and in case you are not comfortable putting it up here, you can make a note in your notebook. I hope you have carried a sheet of paper. In case not, that just I'll give you 30 seconds. Go and grab a sheet of paper and just reflect upon 1 year of yours. Overcoming joblessness, that's good. A year of discovery, I like that. Curiosity. Perseverance yields best results, yes. Okay, thank you so much for all those who have responded, and others also, if you have made a mental note of it. So thank you so much for responding. Now, I hope my Canva, my PPT is visible now. I have changed the tab. If you can just mention on the chat as well.
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so as I could see from the responses that it was an unpredictable year, it was something that no one could have predicted, and that's exactly the term that you see on the screen. And I'm sure some of you or most of you would have heard this term, which we use that the businesses these days are operating in something known as a VUCA world, which is it's a volatile, it's uncertain, things are complex, like a one size fits all approach is not going to work, and things are quite ambiguous. So decision making becomes very difficult. So in these times, they say that this is going to be the new normal. And I was reading a McKinsey article which said that it's not the new normal is that there is going to be no normal. That means nothing is going to be predictable. Something we use businesses used to do a 5 year plan, a 10 year plan. That's not going to work because the new normal is going to be that there is not going to be any normal. And hence, when the world is like that, especially you as students at your early 20s or your late 20s, students who are just studying or who will be graduating soon or in their post graduation year, it becomes very essential that we take charge of our lives, we equip ourselves with the latest skills and with a mindset that we will have to reskill and upskill and unlearn and relearn patterns that we had held on to. So that is why this session, Designing Life, is just about taking charge, reflecting on the skill set that you have, and how you can make yourself a better person, how you can become someone who is irreplaceable when you start working. So again, I would like you to reflect this, and you don't have to type these responses anywhere, not on Menti or on chat. But imagine that now, today is 31st of December 2021, and you are standing in front of the mirror. I want all of you to visualize this, that today is 31st December 2021. You are standing in front of the mirror. What would you like to tell yourself? What would those words be? What are you telling yourself? Just make a mental note of it. And I would urge all of you to really make a mental note of it or write it on the notebook or a sheet of paper that you have carried. What are you telling yourself? And once you are done, type done in the chat. And in case you are comfortable, you can also write in the chat anything that you would like to share, what you have told yourself. But once you are done writing this, please mention on the chat done so that we can proceed ahead. Okay, a couple of responses, some of you have done it. Okay, so most of you would have visualized the kind of person that you wanted to become at the start of the year. Like at the start of the year, you must have had resolutions, New Year resolutions, as to say, or goals that you would have set for yourself, and you would like to see yourself accomplishing that in the year 2021. Now we are almost done, it's almost the end of June, so we are 50% of the year is already completed. What I would now want you to reflect upon is today in this session, you visualize as to the kind of person you would like to become at the end of 2021. You have 50% of the year still with you. Some of the goals that you had set for yourself would have worked, some probably would not have worked. But now is the time to take charge, as I said at the beginning of the session, to take charge, reflect on the skill set that you have in different aspects of your life, and promise yourself that you will achieve that, you will become that person that you had visualized yourself. Because at this point, what you thought that you would be telling yourself, you would like that to manifest in reality, right? And for some of you, even thinking that that is not going to manifest in reality would be like scary, would make you feel sad, would make you feel depressed, that you were not able to accomplish that. So now that you have got this realization that time has really flown by in this year, and you have 50% of the year, what we will do in this section is we will reflect upon a few aspects of your life which help you not only in your professional but also your personal lives. We'll reflect upon that. It will be completely your reflection because it is about your journey, your lives. I would like you to reflect upon that and make goals for yourself. And towards the end of the session, out of the different aspects that we would cover, I would like you to commit one thing that you are definitely going to start from today itself, and few goals that at least one or more than one also. You will say that by 28th July, today is 26th June, 28th June, 28th July, I should be able to see myself having accomplished that goal. So I want you to set mini habits for yourself so that you can reach those goals of yours. So now from here on, everything is going to be reflection. It is going to be driven by you. So we will begin with that. I hope all of you have a sheet of paper with yourself. What I would like you to do is take a sheet of paper. I hope my screen is visible. Yeah. So take a sheet of paper and fold it. Fold it this way. In case some of you don't have a sheet of paper, then you do not have an option. If you can get one, please get one. In case not, then whatever the reflections will be, you can write in your mobile. But doing this on pen on paper is more beneficial because it's a reference for us when we can refer to whenever we want. And it's a pretty reflective exercise as well, so it's fun. I would like you to fold the paper this way, such that now you have four quadrants or four areas in your paper. And whenever you are done with this, again type done on the chat so that we can quickly begin, and we have time. We can also have question and answers. But I would quickly want you to just fold your sheet of paper and these four sections. Done. Thank you so much for those who are responding. Okay, so many of you have done it. Yeah, the first aspect that we would be covering is, just a second, yeah. I'll just tell you the brief structure so that you are aware. So over here, the first aspect that as you saw on the slide as well, we are going to covering is communication, which I, having worked before and now pursuing my post-graduation, I realized that communication is one of those aspects which really help you make or break your professional careers. It is something that at a graduation or a post-graduation level, colleges do not emphasize much because probably you have learned it in your school days. But it really, we call it soft skills. Soft skills are actually power skills, would help you navigate the challenges you face in your professional world. So the first aspect that we are going to look at is communication. So I would want you to write the word communication over here. Communication. This way. The first question I want you to reflect upon is, what improvements do you wish to see in your communication? And write it over here. The aspects of communication in your life. For example, For some, it could be that you realize that in meetings you are not able to speak up much. So you feel that you are not able to formulate opinions and make arguments. So you can write, I want to learn to formulate opinions. Or you want to improve your vocabulary. Probably you feel that when you are trying to speak, you feel at a loss of words. So you want to improve your vocabulary. Or you want to learn to structure your thoughts properly, because structuring is gives a direction to what you are going to talk about. So just reflect upon your communication. So your each the level would be different for each one of you. So I want you to reflect upon your communication skills and write over here what are the aspects of communication that you would like to improve. And once you are done, again type done. 1 2 3, that is also sufficient, not more than that. Once you know how to do this exercise, you can also do it periodically, let's say every 3 months, every 6 months, once a year. It's a very beneficial exercise. I personally do it, and towards the end of the session, hopefully I'll share with you my the designing for life framework that I did. Okay, so some of you have done it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some tips which will help you actually improve your communication skills in your workplace and in your personal life as well. So this was the question that we reflected on. Now, first and foremost, if you really want to improve your communication, first thing that you can do is read a lot. I cannot emphasize this so much. This is definitely essential for if you are studying as a student.
Rapana.
You should know what is going
Yeah,
on.
coming back.
Those who are not speaking can go on mute. Thank you. The first point is read for at least 30 minutes a day. Now, why have I written it this way? You must have heard something known as SMART goals. So you could probably, so for example, when you wrote communication skills that you need to work on, one aspect is definitely reading more. But when we have goals like I'll read a lot, or I will read X number of books, let's say 30 books this year, but that's not very specific and that's not habit oriented. So what really happens is these are very broad goals and you want to drill down to it something that is achievable. So this concept of SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, real time and time bound. So when you follow that, you can come up with a goal like that I will read for at least 30 minutes a day. You can also set a time that 7 to 7:30 p.m. every day I will read. That is one thing that you can do to improve your communication skills. Next thing is you can start a blog, right? Because when you start writing, you are forcing yourself to think. As a student, you might be thinking that I've understood certain things, I have not understood certain things. But when you start a blog, whatever is your interest area, whatever is your niche, just some of you might be even thinking of becoming entrepreneurs. Whatever is that area that you are passionate about, start writing about it. It could be a blog spot, it could be a WordPress blog, but start writing is what I'm trying to emphasize. Then third is, in case you do not want to start a blog, you can definitely write social media posts. For example, LinkedIn. You write something on LinkedIn and you give the appropriate hashtag so that it reaches to the appropriate number of people and you form a community. So writing social media posts, even if it's a 2-3 liner reflection, is definitely helpful. One, it helps you increase your communication circle, it widens your community circle, and secondly it helps you to force to think as to what you have learned you are able to apply even if you are writing a 2-3 liner. Then these were about reading and writing. Then the next part is speaking in front of the mirror. So these two pointers are when if you, some of you have written that you would like to improve your public speaking skills, that you realize that when there are 10-20 people in the room, 30 people in a room, I'm not able to speak up. So for that, you should practice speaking in front of the mirror. Now, this is something that you must have heard before also. But now what you have to think is you have set that goal for yourself, something that you will be telling yourself on 31st December 2021. If I don't take these small goals, little steps, I might not be able to accomplish something. And it's a VUCA world. We need to keep ourselves updated. So that is something that you must have heard, but now is the time to start implementing it and bringing it into practice. Or else what you can also do is record your own video. So these are some things that you can do to improve the communication aspect of your life. Next part is cognitive skills. So again, go to your sheet of paper and cognitive skills. What changes do you want in the way you think and process things around you? I want you to reflect on your last 1 week. Reflect on your last 1 week and think about what are the changes that you would like to bring in your cognitive skill. So I'll explain what cognitive skill means. So next to communication, I want you to write the word cognitive, and you will be writing everything related to your cognitive skills. So research says that in a day we create around 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts, and that's roughly around 2,500 to 3,000 thoughts an hour. So when I say cognitive skills, when you reflect on 1 week of yours, you would come to know what was the dominant thoughts that you had. Make a note of them. Did most of the time I think negatively, or were my thoughts positive, or was it waste, or was it unnecessary planning? I was planning something I have to do probably after a month or two, after 2 months. So that is unnecessary planning. So think on it. Are my thoughts waste? Are my thoughts positive? Are my thoughts negative? So this is what I would like you to reflect on, and sit and just and in this sheet write what changes would you want to bring in your thoughts. For example, if I say that I want to seek less validation from others, because I realized that when I reflected on my 1 week, I realized that I don't trust myself enough. I always ask my friends or my parents before taking a decision, should I do this, should I do that? So that means most of your thought processes is involved in validation. So you will write that you this is something that you would like to change. So your goal would be seek less validation from others, trust myself more. And for example, let's say you feel very fearful when you are asked to do something new. So cognitive, you will write, I want to be open to new challenges, be open to learning new things. These are the goals that you are selling yourself that you are telling yourself in the cognitive aspect of your life. And again, once again, when you are done, uh, type one positive word that you have written when you are done. Instead of writing done, in order to reinforce that, what I would suggest you to write is just write one word that you have written down. Like for example, I said I use the word trust. So let's keep it very positive, and let's interact in terms of positive words. So one word that you have written in your cognitive aspect, write that one positive word. So if it is trust, if you have written trusting yourself more, so write the word trust. You can even write the line if you want. If you say that you are very anxious and you want to be calm and composed, so you will write calm. So whenever you are done, just write that word so that we can proceed. Okay. Some great words: meditation, intuition. Wow, that's great. Brave, confidence, confidence. Okay, so you need to become brave. You need to be more confident. Now, how do we achieve this? First of all, when it comes to cognitive, that means we are talking about the thinking processes that we are involved in. You know one thing, that whatever inputs that you give, your output will be determined by your inputs. So in case you want to be more grateful, in case you want to be more confident, in case you want to be more brave, you will have to give those kind of inputs to yourself. You cannot complain throughout the day and just have a goal that I want to be more grateful. If you really want to be more grateful, then you have to be around people who do not complain much, who feel grateful. So engage with positive sources. That is, read, watch, listen, interact. Like read books which help you boost your self confidence. Read books which will help you inculcate the habit of gratitude, the attitude of gratitude. Read books, read about people who have done brave acts in their life. Watch documentaries, listen podcasts, interact with such people. Make a community, build a community of such people who you can look up to, who you would like to become like. So engage with positive sources. Secondly, cultivate a growth mindset. Now I'll tell you what growth. So there's in the concept of growth mindset and a fixed mindset. What is the difference between the two? The difference is that people with a fixed mindset believe that our intelligence is innate. Once you are born with it, it cannot be changed. It's just about talent and skills. But people with a growth mindset, they believe that talent and skills are just the starting point, and if you want to really progress in life, you can work and enhance these skills of yours. So what really happens is a person with a growth mindset will always embrace challenges. They will feel that it's a learning opportunity. Whereas a person with a fixed mindset, whenever he or she faces some challenges, if he is able to do with his or her own current existing intelligence, he will face it. But if not, then he will feel it is not my cup of tea. So they are not open to challenge. So a growth mindset is all about freedom because you are on this constant spree of learning new things and embracing challenges. Whereas a fixed mindset is limiting because you have limited yourself that it cannot be worked upon and you cannot enhance it. So cultivate a growth mindset that you can work upon these skills and improve these aspects of your life, even if it's a habit that, if it's a very strong habit that is very difficult to change, but have a growth mindset that with practice you can do it. And while I talk about this mindset, I would like to talk about something known as neuroplasticity. I'm typing it in the chat so that some of you who are interested can read more about it. What neuroplasticity says is, it says is our brain is made up of neurons, right? Every habit that we have is actually associated with a neural pathway. Okay, so if if some of you are having difficulty in cultivating a habit, for example, I have to cultivate a habit of getting up early, or let's say exercising. Now I tell myself that I have to get up at 7 in the morning every day. I am used to getting up at 9. So what has happened is there is a neural pathway that is formed in my brain, my sleep cycle, everything has been formed. When I'm trying to do something new, that pathway takes time for it to establish, and hence you notice that new year resolutions or goals that you set, you are able to do it for a few days but not do it sustainably. Not, we are not able to sustain it. That is because the old pathways have become very strong, and it's easier for the brain to trace and traverse that pathways. So if you want to cultivate a growth mindset, just understanding this concept really helps, because you must have heard of this thing that do something for 21 days and it becomes a habit. Now what is the logic behind that number 21? It's just that a new neural pathway association takes around 21 days. So whenever you are trying to form a new habit, you have to repeat it these many number of times that a pathway is formed. And once a pathway is formed, it becomes a habit. And you all know that we are slaves of our own habits. So read upon this concept of neuroplasticity. And lastly, have a very healthy self-esteem. So whenever you want to change something in your life, I feel that change can only be brought about when the underlying belief is very empowering, when you are able to love yourself and respect yourself. So you know that you are not perfect. None of us are perfect. I know that I'm not perfect, but still can I respect and trust myself. Have that healthy self-esteem and then proceed towards changing anything in life. So whatever you have written in terms of communication, in terms of cognition, these are things that you would like to change. But remember that it will always, those changes will always sustain in the long run if it is coming from a healthy, positive, empowering self-belief and self-esteem. So that is something we definitely need to work on. The third thing I would like you to focus on is emotional skills. What emotional skills do you wish to inculcate? So the third quadrant of this paper, emotional skills. So for example, when I say emotional, one thing could be that you don't have a stable, healthy self-esteem, as we spoke. So you can have a goal that you want to improve your self-esteem. One thing could be that you are a perfectionist and you want to get rid of that perfectionism. One thing is that you feel that, like I told you the example of validation, you validate a lot. You want to become independent. So one thing that you write, that you want to become emotionally independent. And once you are done with this, again, what are we supposed to do? Instead of done, we are going to write that one positive word that we feel that we'll be inculcating. So, for example, I say that I am going to strive to be more that to increase my self-esteem. So, just write the word self-esteem. And out of all the quadrants that we do, I personally believe that emotional skills is the most important because there's a line in management which says that I hire for IQ, I fire for EQ. Your behavior, your emotional skills, your emotional quotient, your emotional intelligence is something that will determine how far you reach in life. Your starting point could be that a person with a higher IQ has cracked an interview, has gotten into the organization, but the levels of promotions, how you work in a team, how what kind of vision you have, are you a visionary, are you someone who is empathetic, are you someone who can portray leadership, especially in the times of crisis, that all is determined by the kind of emotional skills you have at an emotional level. So once you are done, I hope the question is clear. Once you are done, just type in the chat whatever positive word that you feel that you are going to inculcate. It could be anything. It could be that you realize that you get very anxious. So your emotional would be that you want to become more calm and composed. How we would do that if someone is facing anxiety, that we will see in the next slide. That you are very fearful, that you are underconfident, as you had written somewhere that you wanted to become more confident. So emotional will be more in those deeper aspects, more towards that. That it was, so some of you had written that past 1 year it was very unpredictable, so dealing with uncertainty, so that also comes under emotional, also comes under cognition. But if you have to write for emotional, then uh, you could write that a skill that would help you deal with uncertainty, so becoming, so accepting more. So acceptance could be that word that you don't really expect. If you expect things to happen a certain way, but because of the pandemic things did not happen that way, so that leads to a lot of turbulence. So now you say that acceptance is the word that you would like to accept things, situations, and people around you. Be more open-minded and understanding. Wonderful. Thank you for these responses because it is this interaction which helps me calibrate the session, and probably I could take up some of these if in case you have any queries towards the Q&A. So thank you for all those who are responding. Yes, less self-critical is having a healthy self-esteem. Okay, so let me, yeah. So if we want to grow in this area of our life, that is inculcate emotional, positive emotional skills in our life, first thing is that you should know your triggers. So if you talk about this concept of emotional intelligence, the EQ part that I spoke about, it has different aspects. The first aspect of that is, the first component of your emotional intelligence is self awareness. How much aware are you of your own self? Do you know your triggers? Do you know your strengths? Do you know your weaknesses? So knowing your triggers, as in knowing what is something that flares you up, what is something that you can't stand. So if in case you know your triggers, so for example, you don't like dishonesty. Let's say I'm putting you in a position that you are handling a team of 10 5 years down the line, let's say, and dishonesty is something that you cannot stand, and one of your team members has done something which is very dishonest. Now how are you going to tackle this situation? If you know beforehand that dishonesty is something which is my trigger point, which is my red button, so you can carve out a plan that what should I do when I encounter such situations? Do I have to take deep breath? Should I just, like, you should know that you are not supposed to speak up at that moment. You should not be reactive. You have to speak out assertively. But that is the secondary part. You will understand the solution what you should do only when you know your triggers first. So having self awareness is the first important step that you can take. Then second is practicing affirmations. Now you must have heard of this concept of affirmations, visualization. So what exactly is that? Whatever we would like to become, whatever we would like to manifest in reality, you tell yourself that it has already happened. So for example, you are someone who gets angry very fast. So you are going to tell yourself that I am peaceful. So when I say the 31st December 2021, you visualize yourself in a certain way. In order to make that a reality, what you can do, start doing is from today, you just do it for 21 days. I have done it. I have, like, there are, you can have affirmations, you can have gratitude list. I have done it for 21 days. And what I did was I used to write something different, three different things I'm grateful for straight 21 days. And I make sure that I write something different every single day. So similarly, you can do for affirmations, at least write for 21 days something that you said that you would like to become on 31st December, telling yourself. So you tell yourself that I am that. So if you feel that you are very self-critical, you tell yourself that I love myself, I accept myself, I trust myself. So you feel that you want to grow your confidence level, you say I am confident. And not even saying that, believing that. It's not something that you should just say, but you should also believe. Now there are two reasons. First is, when you tell yourself that I am confident, I trust myself, I love myself, first is you should also be able to visualize that. Without that, it's an incomplete process. Things might not manifest or might not happen the way you do. So first is that you believe and you also visualize. Visualize, I think you see yourself taking decisions, trusting yourself. You see yourself that something wrong has happened and you are not critical of yourself. You see yourself that it's a panicky situation, but you are confident that you will deal with it. And second, that is the first thing that you need to visualize and believe. And why this is important is because your brain as an organ is very neutral. There was a research conducted, and according to that research, I will just cut to the chase that according to that research, your brain cannot identify whether something has happened really, or it's just in your mind. Like there was this study conducted, like a set of people were actually given a piano to play, a set of people were told to play the piano in their mind. And with the brain mapping of these two groups of people was done, it was the same, which just implies that if I am happy, I am really happy, or I'm just telling that I am happy and feeling that and believing that I am confident, your brain feels that yes, that it is true, because your brain is a neutral organ. So hence, practice affirmation. And in order to enhance the emotional aspect of your life, to improve your emotional quotient, make mindfulness and meditation a daily ritual. So our lives have become very fast paced, especially after the screens and digital revolution. We are just, when we are changing screens, when we are scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through YouTube, or scrolling on any of these, it is said that the speed of the screen becomes the speed of your mind. And if you want to feel calm, composed, if you want to have a good healthy mental health, the speed of your thoughts should not be very fast. So it's opposite. Like it is said that your body benefits through movement, while your mind benefits through stillness. So when you move, when you exercise, when your muscles are flexed, your body would feel healthy. But when it comes to your mind, it is that the frequency of your thoughts should be less. And in order to do that, mindfulness and meditation are great practices. And in some other session, probably we'll go deeper into this, how to write affirmations, how to visualize, how to practice mindfulness, what kind of meditation to do, because there are so many options. But as of now, I can tell you in short that mindfulness is about being present, being aware of the present moment. It is the formula for mindfulness, I would say, is awareness plus attention. Be aware and be attentive. Consciously, deliberately bring your focus to the present, not thinking of the past, not thinking of the future. And meditation, there are different types, and you have to make it a daily ritual, even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's just 10 minutes, but start doing. When you start doing, you have taken the you have done almost, I would say, 60% of the task. And every task that we do, there's this concept of activation energy. When you start doing it, you have given the activation energy to it. So just starting with it is like you have fired up the task and the activation energy is given and you can proceed with it. But just listening to something and not starting it, that means you are very far away from the goal that you have set. So this is all about emotional. The last thing that I would like you to focus upon is the technical skills that you would like to have in your life. So, what technical skills do you wish to learn? Now, this is going to be different based on the role that you aspire to perform in your future organization. So, if you are in the field of social media, probably you would like to your skill would be you want to learn digital marketing, or you want to take up some HR course, or you want to learn something related to data visualization, you want to learn a new programming language like, let's say, Python, R. So these are the things that you would write in this quadrant. So technical, whatever are the technical skills, I want you to write it over here. And this would be very interesting. This would give me an idea of the diverse skill set or skill set the audience who have joined us have or they aspire to have in the future. So when you are done reflecting on this, write in the chat that one word, what is that skill that you would like to have in terms of the technical skills that you wish to imbibe. The ability to be able to predict the market. Okay. Improve my Excel skills. Great. Excel is a very powerful tool. It is something my professor, one of the sessions that I was attending, I'm a student, I'm pursuing my post graduation. So he was telling that Excel is like the ABC of the corporate world, used everywhere, and everyone should aim to master it. So yes, that's a good technical skills goal that you have. So I hope now your paper looks something like this, with of course your pointers filled everywhere. Communication, cognition, emotional and technical. This paper will give you a brief of something. Now from this, you have to pick up, once we cover the technical, some tips that I will share in terms of the technical skills, how you can enhance those skills so that you can grow in your career, because this technical is definitely related to your career. Rest were related to professional, personal, both. But once we do that, we will see that from these you have to pick things that you will start working on today itself, so that you can tell yourself what you want to become like towards the end of 2021. Now, how exactly do you improve your technical skills? First is enroll for an online course. Now, we all know that there are different MOOCs available, be it Udemy, be it Coursera, Future Learn. A lot of courses, a lot of stuff is available out there for free. So, whatever technical skills that you have written, even if it is, let's say it is business analytics that you would like to learn, enroll for an online course, for a free course. Second is start following industry leaders on LinkedIn. First is it will help you build engagement, build a community, and secondly, you will know what is going on in the industry that you want to go. And all this is important because we have to work on these, because we are, as we said, we are staying in a VUCA world. In case we don't take charge of our own careers, we don't work on these skills, we will be left behind. And all of us strive to become that one person who is irreplaceable. So for that, these aspects of our life, and specifically when we talk about technical, it becomes very important. So follow industry leaders on LinkedIn. Subscribe to YouTube channels. Lot of tutorials available on YouTube. So subscribe to those YouTube channels. Now, these are something that some of you must already be doing. But I want you to become cognizant of the fact that you are doing this, and I will probably make a note of it also. Like, for example, if you are in your final year of graduation and it's a placement season and you're applying for jobs, you follow people, you have subscribed to channels, but are you really making use of it? Are you able to retain whatever you are reading on LinkedIn or watching on YouTube? So make notes of that, so that in your interview you can probably speak about it. And last and most importantly, when it comes to technical skills, is practice hands-on by working on small projects. So small projects, let's say if you are learning programming language or a web development course you have taken up. So projects are available on GitHub. Just go work on data sets. So for example, Excel. Just watch tutorials on YouTube. There are some great websites, Excel Campus, Yoda Academy, and Excel Guru. Very profound, renowned people, and very profound content is available there. Start practicing. Start downloading data sheets, Excel sheets, and start working on those data sets. And these projects are something you can definitely showcase on your resume. So these are some tips which will help you work on your technical skills. Yeah, so this is a summary of what we did: communication, emotional, cognitive, and technical. For communication, just to summarize what we went through just a few minutes before, that you need to read more, you need to write more, and have smart goals as possible. That I will read for 30 minutes from so and so time. I will write at least one paragraph or at least one LinkedIn post once or twice a week. So have specific goals. In terms of emotional, we said that we need to start practicing mindfulness and meditation, and not even practicing it, making sure that you are making it a ritual, you are making it a habit. And definitely remember the concept of neuroplasticity whenever you think of habits. And exercise. So this is also something that helps the exercise. They say that exercise is like an antidepressant. Serotonin and dopamine hormones, which is known as DOSE, DOSE, which are the feel good hormones. It is said that exercise releases those hormones in your body. So D for dopamine, O for oxytocin, S for serotonin, and E for endorphin. Now, there is enough of research which says that exercise releases serotonin and endorphins in your body. So start exercising, make it a habit. Then, when we spoke about technical, we talked about enrolling in a course, and most importantly, the highlight of the technical aspect: practice as much as you can. You want to learn Canva? Just take some random theme, go to the elements part, go to templates, just start practicing it, start making posts, and be very active on your LinkedIn as well. And the last is cognitive. In terms of cognitive, of being aware of your thinking patterns. So you reflected on 1 week of yours, and you realize that most of the times I feel the thoughts I have are negative. Most of the times the thoughts I have are not negative, but they are waste thoughts. It is unnecessary. I just start thinking of something which is probably 2 weeks later, and there's no need of probably planning it before 2 weeks. So that is something you realize about your pattern. So becoming aware and then taking steps to mitigate it. Then we spoke about the growth mindset, that you start embracing challenges and not have this fixed mindset that talent and skills that you have when you are born, that itself is it and it cannot be enhanced. So this is the model that we had spoken about. Would any one of you like to share what your paper looks like, if you can turn on the camera, just to show off of how your quadrant looks like, the 4 aspects? Okay, so anyway, I hope you have made note of it, and in the interest of time, let's move ahead. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Shante, for being there. Yeah, so I hope you have made a note of these aspects of life that you can work upon, and just a few more things left, something that you can take away. In case you have any questions, you can ask. And what I would like you to do now is quickly, in the interest of time, definitely keep this paper handy. Think about it, reflect on it before you go to bed today as to what you can do, so that you can tell yourself whatever you had decided, whatever you want to manifest on the 31st of December 2021. 50% of the year is still in your hand. But till that time, you think of any questions, we can take that up. I would like you to go to menti.com and type this code on the screen, 17806446. I'll also type it in the chat. Yeah, I hope all of you are on that Menti page. Mention one thing you would like to, you would commit to after today's session. One thing you have to commit yourself. You have given 1 hour of your precious time from your busy schedule, listening to something, probably something you already know. But now that you visualized yourself, 31st December 2021, one thing from all these reflections that you had for yourself that you would commit to after today's session, what would that be? Quickly type in. And in case you are not typing, at least make a mental note of it, write it in your notebook so that it is in front of you and you invest that much time. So here I can see some responses: reading and writing more often while remaining more mindful and appreciative. Wonderful. Exercise more, very good. Being more vocal and interactive, yes. So keep it in front of you. As I was saying that 50% of the year is remaining. Let's say just break it down. So exercise more was a very specific goal. Now If you can give yourself a specific time that I will exercise for, let's say, 15 minutes or 20 minutes a day, and from this time to that, from let's say 5 to 5:30, make it smart and write it down somewhere so that it is in front of your eyes and you do not forget. And on 28th July, just check again if you are able to practice that. Be more intentional with the type of books I read and what I give most my time to. Wonderful. Start structuring my thoughts. I agree. I too write a lot, and I have realized that when you want to improve your writing, structuring your thought becomes very essential. So good to know that people have set those goals and they are committing to it. Start structuring my thoughts properly by practicing taking more and writing out my thoughts. Wonderful. Yeah, active listening. Yes. Improving your confidence. So, what is this person going to do? You are going to say, I am confident, and visualize yourself being confident. Okay, so thank you for these responses. And one more thing that I would like you to do. What is your biggest takeaway from today's session? Just quickly mention that. I hope it was helpful and you got some food for thought so that you can work on your lives. And also let me know in the chat. So this was just the first part, but some concepts that I spoke about: affirmations, visualization, mindfulness, meditation. If you would want a part two to this designing life series, then we can then we can also have that. Those who are not speaking can go on mute, please. So let me know in the chat, or you can let Rakesh or Lakshmi know about it, that you would like to have a part two, so that some concepts that we spoke about, we can go in detail and we can organize a designing life part two as part of this series. So what is your biggest takeaway from today's session? It could be anything. It could be something that you discovered about yourself when you reflected, or it could be, let's say, the concept of neuroplasticity, which was new to you, or what was your biggest takeaway? Something new that you have learned. Probably that is something that you can type out here. Yeah, wonderful. What we can do with those 6 months can either be beneficial or not, and it can thus help you become the version of yourself you want to become. So either it can take you closer to the person you want to become, or you can get even far. Biggest takeaway. So yeah, I can see a lot of people, a lot of you are responding on the chat. So I'll close this. Soft skills is power skills. Yes, that is something all of us need to remember. Yeah, so for yeah, Mabel. So when you say that reading helps, yes, it helps. Now when you have that goal that you now you are reading more, so that that can help you structure your thoughts. That so now what you have to do is, when you are reading, you should look at how the writer or the author has paraphrased. something is put in the first paragraph and second and third. So why has the author decided to put it in that way, not the other way around? Is there something that could have come earlier or before? So be mindful when you are reading that, and that will help you structure your thoughts. And whenever you have written a piece, ask yourself that something that I really want the person to know first. For example, you are drafting an email and you have a call to action. So now you want to put that call to action towards the end. Ask yourself, have I added it towards the end or is it coming somewhere in the middle? What is the first thing I would like this person to know? What is the first thing that I would want this person to read when that person knows that, okay, I have received this mail regarding so and so subject? Have I put that at the first? So asking these questions also helps. Take initiative to improve the skills. Yes, that is growth mindset. So yes, thank you so much, and I can see that some of you have reflected well and have set goals, and I've also committed. So thank you so much for being proactive and being a part of this session. And I'm sorry I've shot up about time, and we are already 7 minutes past 5. So thank you so much for being here, and it was wonderful interacting with you. And let us know if you would like to have a part 2 of this series, then we will organize more in the future. And thank you so much.
Yeah, Aarti. So I would like to thank you to have taken up such a wonderful session and such a wonderful topic of design your life. And the kind of aspects that you touched, be it cognitive, communicative, communication, technical, or all those things, they talk more about an individual change. That is what I could see. But then, if we all practice all these things, in our daily life, then it will definitely help us to take charge of our lives, right? So yes, and I would request all the participants to give your feedback at the end of the session, and do let us know on what all topics or subjects do you want such sessions to be held in future. It could be, any topic related to this session or anything that comes to your mind. And thank you so much for your active participation. Once again, thanks, Aarti. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And as Sarika said, it's all about you. It's all about your learning, and it's all about your journeys. And we are here to help you. So let us know the kind of sessions that you would like us to organize, and we'll definitely do something. Either it's a technical session or it's a behavioral session like this. Whatever you would like cultural agents to do more of it, we will definitely try our best to offer you something related to that. So yeah.
So yeah, I think, Aarti, we can wrap up the session.
Yeah, I was the host, so in case I leave, I'll have to assign someone. So I am ending it.